March sadness has to end sometime for the Big Ten. It's been 25 years since we've crowned a national champion, and I'm not so sure it's going to happen this year either. Locked On Big Ten starts right now.
You are Locked On Big Ten, your daily podcast on the Big Ten Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Big Ten. I'm Craig Sheeman, 40 years as a sports talk show host and play-by-play announcer, and I want to thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Hit that free subscribe button if you don't mind while you're watching. It just takes a second, and then you'll never miss a single episode. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. So, Big Ten, March sadness for the last 25 years. We need some March madness, some happiness, something. We'll talk about the IU basketball transfer portal with their change there. Ohio State football news. Why are people unhappy? But by the way, not unhappy with Julian Sayin. He's looking good. And we'll have our Big Ten classics and live action all coming up right here on this episode. But it's been a quarter of a century since a Big Ten team cut down the nets in the final weekend of the NCAA tournament. 25 years. Look, we take a lot of pride in the Big Ten. We take a lot of pride in the Big Ten being tough and good in the world of college basketball. But then you realize Tom Izzo's Michigan State Spartans, they were the last team to win it all, and that was back in 2000. Yeah, that was a long time ago. I'm sure you all have friends that remind you of that from time to time. That's for sure. Yeah, sure. Maryland won it in 2002, but they were an ACC team at the time. And by the way, they beat Indiana that year. Some close calls along the way, which we were like right there and just didn't quite get it. Like I'm thinking of the 2015 Wisconsin team. They were good. They were really good. In fact, they led Duke in that game, in that championship game, up by 9 midway through the second half. Then they lost by 5. Other than that, 7 other Big Ten teams have made it to the national championship game, and they've all lost. Every one. Look, we've been close here in the 2000s. Just gave you an example with Wisconsin, and other teams were in the mix. They just didn't close the deal. Even last year, the Purdue Boilermakers. That was the best Purdue team I've ever seen in my life with 7'4" Zach Edey, and they came up short versus UConn. UConn was busy capping off back-to-back titles, and nobody was beating UConn last year. They were awesome. So we'll let that one slide. How does the Big Ten skid compare to other conferences? Well, in the last quarter century, the Big Ten, or the Big East, I should say, the Big East won 8 titles. The ACC won 8 titles, and that includes the Maryland team that I mentioned a moment ago that later moved on to the Big Ten. Meanwhile, the Big Ten has lost 8 title games in the 2000s. No other conference has totaled more than 3 losses. Michigan State lost to Buzzsaw and Jay Wright and Villanova and his team in 2018. Ohio State got stopped by an awesome Billy Donovan team in 2007. That seems like a long time ago. Others included Illinois' 5-point loss to North Carolina in 2005. Michigan State got back to the final in 2009, but they got blown out by North Carolina by 17 points. Michigan lost to Rick Pitino's controversial Louisville team in 2013 by 6 points. Louisville has since vacated that title due to recruiting violations, and Rick Pitino was off. Shouldn't Michigan get that title back and end our streak? I think so. Nobody else seems to agree with me. Then we would be talking about a Big Ten without a title for the last 12 years instead of the last 25 years. Nobody's listening to me on that one. I think that's how it should go. And look, while anything can happen in March Madness, my opinion is, this is my opinion, that the Big Ten is really, really, really good, solid, not great, not elite. Sure, the Big Ten has as many teams in the SEC and the AP Top 25 here at the end of the year, 7 each. But the SEC rankings, they're in single digits. The Big Ten, they litter the teens and the 20s of the AP Top 25. The Ken Palm metric that a lot of people like to use has Michigan State as the 10th best team in the country. That means 9 are better. 10 is not elite. It's close. It's right there knocking on the door of elite, but not quite there. And that's kind of my point. They're really, really good. I don't know if they're good enough to win at all. And, other Big Ten teams, I think everybody has weaknesses in the conference. Purdue, they're capable of getting hot, but they've lost 6 of their last 9. They are the opposite of hot right now. Wisconsin, if they can recover from their 4 games in 4 days and that gauntlet they ran in the Big Ten tournament, they could score the best of them. I'm going to be curious to see how they turn around from the 4 straight games through Sunday and then got to play, today, Thursday, tonight. UCLA is a great basketball team, but I have questions about their offensive firepower getting through a tournament like this. Michigan has 2 7-footers, Vladimir Golden, Danny Wolf, very good. Maybe. I'm going to give them a maybe. If they could put it together, and look, they won the Big Ten tournament. Again, they didn't look great in the championship game, but everybody, Wisconsin, Michigan, they're all worn out. Let's see how they look early in this tournament. Can they get through the first weekend? Can they get to the Sweet 16? I'll give Michigan a maybe. I'll give Michigan State and Michigan a maybe. I don't want to rain on everybody's parade here. So we'll see. I also love the Maryland Terps. I love their freshman, Derek Queen. They're big man. The Crab 5, as they call their starting 5, instead of the Fab 5. They got the highest scoring starting 5 of the country, but can they go 6, 7, and 8 deep in a physical game in the NCAA tournament? I don't know. Illinois is my absolute wild card. They're good. But Brad Underwood, he's had to juggle that lineup due to illness and sickness 7 different times since January. I don't know if they have the consistency or the chemistry right now when they need it to go deep in this tournament. The pieces are there. I don't know if they're together chemistry-wise. Maybe they are. I would love to be wrong on that. The Oregon Ducks, they're a very good team. Very good team. Very consistent, good team. They beat Texas A&M. They beat Alabama. But every time I look at their Big Ten schedule, they lost every game against a ranked Big Ten team. Every one of them, with the exception of that late Wisconsin game. So I don't know how they're going to do against these ranked good teams. And by the way, it was an overtime game at Wisconsin. It was a very impressive win. I can't remember if I did UCLA. Best defensive team in the Big Ten, I think. UCLA. I don't know if they have the firepower to get through this tournament. So, in short, I have to admit, I don't know how our beloved Big Ten teams are going to do. And look, it'll probably be a fun ride. There'll be some interesting storylines. We'll have lots to talk about here on this podcast. I just don't know if any of them are going to go all the way to San Antonio and make it into the final. But the good news is, we used to say, other people toward us used to say the same thing about Big Ten football. There were some gaps. Lately, we've dominated. It's been fun. Ohio State and Michigan, back-to-back national championships. Before that, we hadn't won one since Ohio State in 2014 and Ohio State in 2002 and Michigan in 1997. That's been it. So it's been nice being on this tear. And if we just get over the hump like Michigan did and then Ohio State did, maybe we could put together a run of some Big Ten teams, get national championships in basketball to pair up with our football dominance. That would be awesome. That's what we're rooting for here. Let me know what you think in the comment section here. Would love to hear from you on this. You agree or disagree with me? You've all watched Big Ten basketball season long. Hey, whatever you do, hit that subscribe button if you don't mind and follow Locked On Big Ten for free wherever you get your podcast. That way you won't miss a single episode. And then you'll have it as soon as it's available each and every day. I would also ask, if you don't mind, to share, follow, and like Locked On Big Ten. Hey, don't forget our website as well, talkbig10.com, where all of our podcasts go. Plus, also, you can get Big Ten gear from your favorite schools, shirts, t-shirts, hats, all right there. All right, a lot of other things I want to talk about. This is a big day. as we're rolling into basketball. I got some football news as well I want to get to. First of all, some people at Ohio State seem to be very unhappy. I'll tell you what, they're happy with their practice sessions that they're having, but still Buckeye fans are unhappy. I'll explain why in just a moment. And some IU basketball players hitting the portal. Well, their coaching changed. They're allowed to do so. The portal opens up for everybody on Monday, by the way. Plus, we'll have our Big Ten Classics. All that coming up right here on Locked On Big Ten. Monarch money. Let's talk about it. You ever check your bank account and go, whoa, where'd all that money go? What am I doing here? Between dining out and online shopping and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. It just goes. It just flies out. And that's where Monarch money comes in. Your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch money isn't just a budgeting app, although it can do that. It's a complete financial command center. You track all of your accounts, your investments, and spending all in one place. So you stop just managing your money. You start building wealth. And you just realize how much money you spend in certain categories. It's right there. Oh, I spent too much on food on Friday nights. I spent too much on this. It's all grouped together for you. And of course, instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, track spending, and even your long-term goals. You can collaborate with your partner, put everything all together so it's easy to see, take out some stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONCollege for half off in your first year. And if you want tickets to a game, any game, basketball game, college basketball game, for example, or maybe theater or comedy, get the Game Time app. It's where all the tickets are, right? You can watch your favorite teams live and in person, be part of that energy of the crowd. Getting tickets should not be stressful. It should be easy breezy, and it is with Game Time. That's where they come in, making it easy to grab last-minute seats at unbeatable prices. And curation makes it easier to find better value for tickets to sports, concerts, comedy, theater. Check out the app. There are amazing deals on it all the time, and on some huge matchups coming up here in basketball. Get them right there with Game Time. And also the lowest price guarantee or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. What a deal that is. Plus, it gives you peace of mind. You have the actual views of the seats you're about to buy tickets for right there before you buy them. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app. Create an account. Use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. That's LOCKEDONCollege, LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Thanks for making Locked On Big Ten your first listen each and every day, especially you everydayers out there. Meanwhile, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Boom, it's free. It's quick. That way you never miss an episode of Locked On Big Ten. And if you don't mind, in addition to that, share, follow, and like Locked On Big Ten, your team every day. And don't forget our website, talkbig10.com. Podcasts and merchandise, all at your fingertips. The Ohio State Buckeyes, the fans, they're really digging deep on this dislike for streaming of Big Ten football games. We reported several weeks ago here that an Ohio lawmaker, State Senator Bill DeMora, introduced a bill that would ban public universities from entering quote-unquote horrible streaming exclusivity deals. He also wants students on campus to receive free access to these games. Now, the Columbus Dispatch is now writing how Buckeyes athletic director Ross Bjork is aware of the situation. He is aware that Buckeye fans are unhappy with this massive Big Ten media deal, which includes several networks, and that also includes a streaming component, particularly on Peacock. The deal is locked in until the 2030-31 seasons, and it's not going away. Bjork recalled the good old-timey days where he grew up watching games on network TV, and some of his friends had a special satellite dish, and they go over and watch this new thing called ESPN. I mean, it was decades ago. I lived it too. Bjork did offer a consolation for frustrated fans. He said that Ohio State does appear on streaming services less than other teams. He says, and he's right about that because Fox and NBC, they get first crack at the marquee games. That involves a lot of Ohio State games, and there you have it. So he's kind of right about that. I'll say this. I got a lot of apps, and sometimes I like them, sometimes I don't. Peacock's is one of the easiest ones to use. It's easy. It's super easy to use. But obviously he feels that Ohio State is valued differently and should get a different deal or be on over the network TV more often. But listen, streaming's not going away. In fact, I'll predict that the next media deal into the 2030s will have more streaming. I'll go so far as to say that in our lifetimes, even a Super Bowl will be streamed. People used to tell me I'm crazy. They don't tell me that anymore. It's going to happen. Speaking of the Buckeyes, let's give you some good news here. I keep hearing every day I look for news, and every day I hear quarterback Julian Sayin is turning heads. Everybody's amazed at him at practice. Now, Ryan Day won't admit that it seems like Julian Sayin is the presumptive starting quarterback at Ohio State. Will take over for Will Howard and the defending national champions this year. Lincoln Keenholz and newcomer and five-star recruit Tavian St. Clair will also be competing for the starting gig. Sayin reportedly has a lightning quick release. Some reports say this throwing motion is just effortless. I've seen a little bit on social media as well. I would agree with those assessments. So that's all good. Stay tuned, Ohio State. Indiana, of course, announced its new basketball coach, Darian Devries from West Virginia. We talked about that on yesterday's podcast. And that's with the departure of Mike Woodson. And it seems, current players for Indiana, they can hit the portal a few days early because of the coaching change. Everybody else is going to do it on Monday. And DeVries' son, who's a 37% three-point shooter and an 82% free throw shooter, he's going to follow his dad to Indiana. That's good news for the Hoosiers from West Virginia. Leading scorer Malik Renew has entered the transfer portal. That does not surprise me. He will consider other options. Gabe Cupp will hit the portal as well. So everybody just starting over there at Indiana. And also with Fran McCaffrey's departure at Iowa, their portal's open. Several players hitting the portal there. Brock Harding, Bryce Sanford, now Riley Mulvey. And we reported yesterday that sophomore and 2024 Big Ten Freshman of the Year, Owen Freeman, is leaving as well. So as we're talking basketball, and this is for the Thursday podcast, now the play-in games are done. We're ready for the NCAA tournament to start in earnest, and the field of 64. And I don't know what time you're consuming this podcast. If it's Thursday morning, the first action we have today, Purdue at 12:40, first Big Ten team, I should say, at 12:40, so pretty early. 9.5-point favorites taking on High Point, the 13 seed out of North Carolina. Again, we'll watch Fletcher Lawyer, see how that elbow is that he hurt in the Big Ten tournament. And he's been cleared, so we'll see. And again, Matt Painter's team has struggled, though. 6 of their last 9 had that 4-in-a-row stretch that they lost in February. Also, later on today, this afternoon, the Wisconsin Badgers, runner-ups to the Big Ten championship game against Michigan. They're the 3 seed. They take on 14 seed Montana. That's a 1:30 Eastern game on TNT today. Did I mention the Purdue games on True TV? Just so you're hunting and finding where all these games are. The Badgers will see if they get rested up after those 4 straight games, because if they got their legs, they can shoot. They can score with anybody. Later on tonight, UCLA, the 7th seed against 10 seed Utah State. That's at 9:25 Eastern, 6:25 Pacific. That'll be on TNT. As I mentioned earlier, UCLA with the number 1 scoring defense in the Big Ten, hoping to grind people to a halt with good, sound, fundamental possession basketball. And then the latest game tonight, Michigan, the 5 seed against 12 seed UC San Diego. People say good things. I don't watch a lot of UC San Diego basketball. I watch a lot of Michigan basketball. So we'll see what happens with the whole 5-12 game, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific on TBS. Dusty May's had an incredible year. 17 more wins this year than the team he inherited last year from Juwan Howard. So that's pretty good. The UC San Diego team won 30 games this year. So Don't take them lightly. Those are the games today. Got more games tomorrow. The women's tournament starts tomorrow. A lot of Big Ten teams and 12 women's Big Ten teams in action this weekend as well. So we'll get that all covered right here. Coming up, we'll take a look at the weekend with our Big Ten classics, highlights, and live action. We'll have it all for you here coming up in just a second right here on Locked On Big Ten. Need some energy? How about 5-hour energy? Yes, that's right. 5-hour energy comes in that nice little bottle, ready to go, very convenient. Daylight savings snuck up on a lot of us. Maybe you're feeling a little sluggish, feeling like you lost an hour of sleep, not used to the later daylight. 5-hour energy's back, and the extra sunshine means more fun. Sometimes you need a little boost to power through, right? Whether you're staying up late watching more of these college basketball games, squeezing it around a golf after work, maybe if that's possible for you, and you're just staying busy, use 5-hour energy. It gives you that quick, refreshing pick-me-up whenever you need it. Again, whether you want to stay up a little extra late to catch a late 10 p.m. Eastern tip-off of college basketball, the longer days, all the activity, head to 5hourenergy.com and find over 15 flavors to choose from, including watermelon, blue raspberry, like that, and peach mango, like that as well. You can even build your own 12-pack or 24-pack delivered right to your door. You need one right now? Grab a 5-hour energy shot at your local grocery store or convenience store. They're everywhere. Stock up today and stay energized with 5-hour energy.
The NCAA tournament is here, and so is the bracket breakdown.
Locked On Podcast Network and Amazon Fire TV channels are teaming up to deliver NCAA tournament coverage like never before. Watch studio shows featuring former players and Locked On's local experts as they guide you through every upset, buzzer beater, and bracket matchup.
Stream it all for free on Amazon Fire TV channel. Search Bracket Breakdown to see it all for free.
It's your team every day.
All right, it's time now to take a look at our weekend with our Big Ten Classics and live action. We always pick a few things to highlight from the Big Ten Network. Even though we're not affiliated with them, we do like some of the same things. So I'm going to put that here on full screen. And if you're audio only, no problem. You can, I'll explain it in detail, what we got going on. We'll pick it up with the Friday, March 21st. And 11 a.m. Eastern, we've got Big Ten basketball in 60. They're going back and showing the Wisconsin-Illinois game from last December, kind of get things going a little bit. And the Fighting Illini won that game 86-80 over the 20th ranked Badgers. That is every highlight, every play, every basket, all condensed into 60 minutes. And then at 12 noon Eastern time, Michigan Basketball State Classic, Michigan State at Illinois. That is from February of this year. Tom Izzo's game where he broke the record to become the winningest coach in Big Ten history with the 11th ranked Spartans, 79-65 win over the Fighting Illini. He broke Bob Knight's Big Ten record there. At 1:30, we got a Big Ten basketball in 60, Wisconsin at Michigan State from just a couple weeks ago. In March, and that was where Jaden Akins had 19 points. Jackson Kohler had a career-high 16, and the 8th-ranked Spartans won over the 11th-ranked Badgers 71-62. That was a big game, trying to both teams at that point trying to fight for a regular season Big Ten championship, which Michigan State got. Elsewhere, 2:30, we got another Big Ten basketball in 60, going to show the play-by-play from the Oregon-Iowa game back in February. And Nate Biddle led the Ducks with 21 points and 10 rebounds in that 80-78 thriller over the Hawkeyes. At 3:30, we got some softball. Mississippi State at Northwestern. So check that out. And at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern on Friday, women's gymnastics, the Big Ten Championships, Session 1, followed by more gymnastics with Michigan versus Nebraska on Friday. And that's for the men's, by the way. And then on Saturday, the 22nd, we'll pick it up at noon. Big Ten Women's Gymnastics Big Ten Championship Session 2. So that's at noon Eastern, 9 o'clock Pacific. At 2 o'clock Eastern, we've got women's lacrosse, Maryland at Northwestern. And then at 5 o'clock, more Big Ten Women's Championships, Session 3. So you can watch it all this weekend on the Big Ten Network. Again, that'll be at 5 Eastern, 2 o'clock Pacific. And then we'll close it out at 7:30. Yet another sport. We got some hockey. The Big Ten Championship, Ohio State at Michigan State. So check that out on Saturday night. That'll be very exciting. And then we got some softball for you on Sunday. If you're bouncing around watching college basketball, want to get in some Big Ten softball as well at 11 a.m. Eastern. Maryland is at Purdue. And then at 1:30 Eastern, Wisconsin is at Michigan. So that is a look at the weekend slate, Big Ten Classics, highlights, and some live action, multiple sports between lacrosse and hockey and softball and gymnastics, all the latest basketball highlights. So we got a lot of different sports going here this weekend, so it's fantastic. Check that out. That's why we do this segment every Thursday, Big Ten Classics and live action here on Locked On Big Ten. Many ways for you to follow this podcast. First of all, there's Twitter, X, at Talk Big Ten. Hit me up there. I'll put one of your tweets on Tuesday tweets if it's good. We got our website, talkbig10.com with the number 10. You see the crawl on the bottom with all this stuff if you're on video. Our podcasts go there, as well as your opportunity to buy some merchandise. It's March Madness, and you want to celebrate by having a little school spirit around work or around the house. Get yourself your favorite team shirt, hat, T-shirt, all that right there, talkbig10.com. And whatever you do, be sure to subscribe for free right now. Click that button on the bottom. You can follow this podcast right now, and you'll never miss a single episode each and every day. Locked On Big Ten, your team every day. And you want to check out a second listen? Maybe you missed yesterday's podcast. Again, we're here every day. Go check it out. Also inviting you for another second listen, perhaps of our friends Isaac Shade and Andy Patton for Locked On College Basketball. It's March. This is what they do all year. This is when they bring it all together. Check them out. Check out Isaac and Andy there on Locked On College Basketball on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. That'll do it for us here today. We got our eye on everything with the basketball and always looking for good football stories to bring you here this time of year with spring football. All 18 teams, Big Ten, one umbrella, news, opinion, and analysis right here. It's the only place, the only podcast that does it. Tell your friends about us that we're out here each and every day. For Locked On Big Ten, I'm Craig Sheeman. We'll talk to you next time.